Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SEO Ranking Special Podcast, the SEO Agency Rollercoaster. So let me paint a picture for you guys. You're on a roller coaster, but instead of wild loops and crazy drops, you're diving deep into the chaotic world of SEO agencies. Here we're zooming into the life of SEO agencies and pros, spotlighting the everyday challenges, unfortunate bumps, and the big wins that are part of the game. You gotta be this tall to ride this mix of straight talk, a sprinkle of laughs, and a ton of behind-the-scenes knowledge. So if you're all about staying up to date with SEO, gently tickle that subscribe button. Keep yourself in the know, stay sharp, and you might even find yourself chuckling here and there. My name is Andrew Zarudi, and I'm part of the marketing team over at SEO Ranking, and I'll be guiding you on this wild ride along with my co-host, Chris Simmons, the brains behind the OMG Center, your go-to for digital agency growth hacks. Hey, Chris, super stoked to have you on board with us.
I'm still laughing. Did you say tickle that subscribe button?
Yeah.
I love it. Keep it. We're going to keep that forever.
So yeah, Hulk smashes, and I just thought we decided to go for something else.
I'm in. I'm sold. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Simmons. I'm the founder of the OMG Center. We focus on building agencies and businesses for more money, more time, less stress, hopefully, and essentially more freedom, I guess. I'm really pleased to have Chris on because you're the first Swiss person I've spoken to for a good while since living in Switzerland.
Oh, cool.
And it's still true. Do you want to give us a little introduction to yourself?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so I'm Chris Raulf. I'm the founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. We're a boutique agency here in Boulder, Denver, LA area. And then I also do consulting and training. So that's the chrisraulf.com website. Been doing SEO forever, since before Google was called Google. They were called Backrub back then. I got into SEO in Switzerland back then. Too long of a story, but I've been doing this forever. If you do a search for international SEO expert in Google, you should find my personal website at the very top. So I think I have figured SEO out at this point. I created a super cool proprietary SEO methodology that basically allows us to get any website to outrank even the biggest websites in the world, and be happy to share a few examples if you'd like.
That's awesome. First of all, you've been, I don't mean this in a horrible way, you look great for someone who's been staring at screens since, 2004?
But to hit 54, I live in Boulder, Colorado. Everybody here is like super slim in shape. You know, it's like you have to. So I still play soccer 2-3 times a week, do yoga, hiking, biking. My wife doesn't have an off, button. It's like with her, we just went skiing in Aspen Snowmass. First lift to last lift. And then you go to the gym, right? To do a little bit of running, working out. Instead of most people, happy hour. No, so that's our lifestyle, and I love it. It's
super important to have something really meaningful outside of digital marketing and especially agency running. Are you ready to jump on the roller coaster with us, Chris?
Let's do it.
Cool, here we go. So, first question. Hopefully, anyone watching this hasn't felt a little bit sick with us jumping around pretending we're actually on a roller coaster there. So, Chris, what is it that pushed you to leave your home country of Switzerland and move all the way to Colorado and start your agency?
Keep it short. The company that I used to work for, they owned a company here. It was a joint venture. I worked for the Swiss Railways in marketing. So they sent me over here. As an American, if you want to travel the trains in Europe, you would contact the center here in Boulder. So I did a 6-month internship. I met my future ex-wife during that time, extended this for a year, went back home to Switzerland for 3 years, got more education, came back, and that was about, 20-something years ago. So this is home now.
Yeah, how did this move, like the decision that initially that you had the opportunity to move to the States, how did it impact your professional journey? How did it impact the inception of Boulder SEO Marketing?
Oh, man. So I love being a business person in the US. I have to say, I love Switzerland. It's still my home country in quotes. But man, doing business there is such a pain in the bleep. People are so formal, and maybe it has changed a little bit, but I used to trade currencies in Switzerland. I had to wear a suit and a tie all day long. I lived in Zurich, Switzerland. I didn't like it, it wasn't for me. The US is a very broad, big country, right? One language, one currency. If you want to be successful here in the US, if you have a good product or service and you don't even have to be that smart, I don't consider myself extremely intelligent, you can make it, right? So to me, this is incredible. The market here is what really enticed me. I mean, there are many other things, but this is I saw the opportunity, right, to grow a business here eventually. And it's so much fun. I love it.
When you moved to the States from Switzerland, it was a joint venture. What was the type of work that was involved in that company? Was it about SEO in any way?
No, not at all. So back then, that was in 96. So I worked for the Swiss Railways, and they had a joint venture with the French Railways, where anybody wanting to travel in Europe by train, they had to contact a call center. It was here in Boulder, Colorado. So I was basically on the phone, right? Arranging trips for Americans traveling in Europe. And I loved it. It's like travel agency. I always loved to travel. When I was training, I traveled the world for a year. So that fit in, right? I mean, what an easy job. And then at night, you're done. You go out, hit the bars, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie.
And then you got into the health kick. When you made the trip over, started in the SEO end of the career that you're in now. Is there something that kind of like specifically influenced Boulder's SEO journey, or did you do the freelance to agency kind of approach? How did it happen?
Great question. So I always had a passion from the very beginning for SEO, right? The company that I worked for in Switzerland, there was an American financial corporation. They early in the late 90s, I forget, like mid 90s, whatever. They built a website, right? And it was built in German as well, but the US team, they hard coded the content. And at that time, the search engines emerged. Back then, it was Alta Vista, the early search engines. And I thought to myself, how can these search engines read the content, if they want to show up at the top in, the search engines for their target SEO keywords? That's how I got into SEO. Then I taught myself everything there is to know. There was no training. SEO didn't exist back then. So I really identified my passion for SEO then, and ever since I've been fascinated, and I didn't really have to try hard to build a business eventually. It was just like my passion drove me, right? And that's still the case. I love figuring things out, and if we hopefully get to it, now with SGE, it was like, oh, cool, finally something new, right? So I got into it right away. I present about it, I speak about it, I test things, and I just love to figure SEO things out. Yep. Not because, I want to make a lot of money. It's just like I'm super passionate about this stuff, and I give everything away. We're doing a 2-hour workshop on the micro SEO strategies. We have 620 people signed up, right? It's awesome. There's an interest for it, and people share my passion.
I think we're going to touch on the micro SEO piece in the present day part of this conversation. But one thing that you mentioned a minute ago about the passion, and that's kind of what drove you where you are. And I think the long serving SEO in the community kind of all started before there was a book on it, or before there was a blog on it even. And it's almost like a hobby that turned into a passion, that turned into a business, that turned into what you have now. Are there any times where things were more challenging from running the agency point of view, that you've taken a big lesson along the way, or did you even want to get off the roller coaster at any point?
Yeah, so when I started Boulder SEO Marketing 12, 14 something years ago, I don't know, I was a marketing executive for a small software company here in the Boulder area. And I think I just turned 40. I'm like, man, I got to do something else. If, I need to get out of corporate America or the rat race. And then I read my horoscope one morning, and I don't really believe in that, but it said, if you don't make a major change today, you'll regret it forever. took a shower. I thought about it with my towel around my waist, sat down on my computer. I'm like, I wrote my letter of resignation. I'm like, if I don't do this right now, I will never do it. So, gave notice. From that point on, that day, every day for the first 3 years, I worked, 10 something hours to build this. I had money for maybe a couple of months, but I didn't really care. So yeah, I think you have to go into this, like, this mindset. It's just like all in, things will come, right? If the universe will do its thing usually. So, but then, yeah, sometimes, especially if you start a new agency, it's not just like that all the time. You're going to lose clients. You have to hire people. Then, you have to pay out of your pocket to keep the people. So I didn't want to be funded by somebody else. So this is 100% completely self-funded. So it is a roller coaster, right? But as long as you are accepting of the fact that you're on a roller coaster, and you're not going to derail, most likely.
Fingers crossed.
Right? Just accept it and enjoy this ride. That's what I'm doing. And I honestly, I don't think I ever had a sleepless night in the 14 years where, sometimes it gets a little bit tight, but then just figure things out. You're in control, right? As long as you know that, you can make it happen. And that's always been my drive and the way I do things. It seems to be working out.
And I guess, being in control is a big part of the agency leader's tool set, I guess. One of the things which I find quite interesting is that you can in control but not be in control, but you can also be in control and not feel in control. How do you differentiate whether or not you are in control and feel in control, or the opposite being the case? Because things move so quickly sometimes, don't they?
Let me think about this real quick. The fact of the matter is, like, we are not in control. Generally speaking, as human beings, when my house burned down, I ran out of the burning house. Like, I wasn't in control. It's like, but then you deal with the situation. Whatever happens, unless you die, life goes on. I also project this to the way I do business. Sometimes really bad things happen, but then it's just like, that's the way it is. Let's just deal with it. So I don't get too excited when things are going really well. Like right now, we're growing so fast. We have a hard time keeping up with onboarding clients. So we're like, hey, we're going to slow it down, right? It's a great problem to have. Let's hire people first, train them, and then we're going to take on more clients. So as long as I'm in control, right? I could be completely let loose of this growth, and then everything's going to implode, So as long as, I think if you have this mindset of you're not in control of most of things, but you can steer things in the right direction. After this fire happened, we had nothing. This is what I owned. But it's shockingly how fast people can adapt to really bad situations and make the best of it. And now, I learned so much from this experience. It really helped me on a personal, but also business level. I'm like, whatever happens, it's not as bad as what happened 2 years ago. So I can deal basically with anything. I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. I think there's almost a mantra of like, accept the things you cannot control kind of thing, but also focus on the things you can. Fast forwarding slightly on that roller coaster to today, should we say, there's a lot of agencies out there. There's a lot of agencies doing SEO in particular. How is Boulder SEO differentiating itself against, competing businesses, from strategy through to, client retention, relations and things like that?
Yeah, awesome question. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Simon Sinek. Okay, so I read his book, Start With Why. I'm reading The Infinite Game right now. Oh my God, it so describes, luckily, how I do things naturally, right? I don't look at the short term. I look at what's the big cause. Why am I doing this? It's not about to make money. It's because I have a passion, right? And then I really deeply care about my employees. They're like, it's a mechanism, right? That if I'm the head, if I'm cut off from the team, if I think I'm better than them, it's not going to work. So we treat each other with a lot of respect. I want to make sure that they feel the same way I feel about this business. And it's not, I don't want them to be in it to make money. I want them to be in it to become better people, to eventually potentially move on and build their own agencies, and like be a good person, it affects your personal relationship. So that's my big vision of running a business. Then, so I think to answer your question, with this mindset, I'm not short-term driven. I'm always, man, this stuff is so exciting. It changes all the time. I'm not in control of the algorithm, right, by the search engine giant. But it's a game, I want to figure this stuff out. So I always try to invent new SEO strategies that allow us to get the best possible results for our clients and ourselves. So I figured something out. We call it micro SEO strategies. And if you do a Google search for micro SEO, you're going to find my guide at the very top, where I actually recorded every step that you need to do to implement a micro SEO strategy, taking Google's new search generative experience into account. And Chris, I see you're Googling that. You found it?
I am. I'm having to scroll a million miles past the ads first, but yeah.
So we developed, it's called micro SEO strategies. If you Google micro SEO, we're going to be the first organic result, right? So we figured something out that it's not easy to implement. We have 4, 5, 6 people involved in creating this strategy. But if it were easy, everybody could do it. That's why we give away all of our knowledge. I hope some people will try it. Reality is that a lot of people will come back to us and say, hey, you know what? I think you guys know what you're doing. Can you please help us? I don't have the time, resources, money to do this. Yes. So I always look for, it's always white hat. We don't do any kind of black hat or like AI generated content. It's just like, it's the real deal. And when I talk with potential clients, I think they feel my passion. And then I would say out of 9 out of 10 conversations that I have with clients, they're like, I'm sold. Like, I get it. So I educate. And then in combination with having a proprietary SEO methodology that I show them results, what we did for other clients. Hey, here, 800% increase in organic search traffic.
Yeah.
Do you want that too? Right. So that's a differentiator, I think.
I must say that having a methodology to deliver, regardless of whether it's SEO or PPC or something else, especially in digital agencies, helps to make that kind of invisible aspect of a service more tangible. And also, a client then doesn't necessarily know how to do step 3 of the methodology, but they understand where they are at that point and what part of the methodology they're in.
This stuff is so complicated nowadays. It's not rocket science, but they realize I can't do it. So it's like they come to. And then, so another book, Differentiate or Die. I forgot the author. But unless you have a USP or like you can actually differentiate yourself from other agencies, you will always be at the bottom. You will be a bottom feeder. So create something that's unique. Ideally, we trademark the term micro SEO strategies. Do something that makes you stand out from everybody else.
I've been meaning to ask you, Chris, about the evolution of Boulder SEO marketing. Because like you said, you've had the micro SEO strategy, proprietary strategy in place for like only a couple of years, but Boulder SEO marketing has been around for 14 years. What was the vision for Boulder SEO marketing when you initially came up with the idea, and how does it differ with what you have today?
Oh man, I love that question, Andrew. So I envisioned, I would be this local SEO agency for potentially ever, right? The first client was a company in Israel. They immediately a big contract. So that funded in my local SEO agency. So we did international SEO right away. That's why you'll find me for international SEO expert at the very top. So I'm like, wow, how cool, So I always kept the name Boulder SEO Marketing because, we're in Boulder, we do SEO marketing, but we now work, then soon we got more national clients. And then at the end, we got more local clients. because I started to do trainings, workshops, speaking engagements. So it's like I created something with the vision of, oh, this is what it's going to be. But then it was completely different. And that's the cool thing about, running your own business. Again, you're not completely in control. Just let things happen and then do things along the ride that give you joy and, make you get up and have fun every day. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. I also want to talk about how industry changes and different trends. Maybe they present an opportunity for you to grow your business. For example, like SGE and like even the micro SEO strategy that you have. Obviously, they're not something directly from Google, but this is something that you took what's working for them and found an approach that works for you. So does this present an opportunity for you to grow your business? Would you say that you have grown significantly once you have the micro SEO strategies in place? Or was there something else that also gave you a boost along the way? For SEO ranking, for example, the SG presents a huge opportunity to present a new tool, roll something out, and that way we can even maybe have a foot over somebody else in the market who's just a day behind us,
I completely agree. And, you've probably seen the poll that Aleda Solis did. She's another international SEO expert. 60% of agencies are afraid of SGE. Like when I saw that poll, it's like, are you kidding me? Everybody should be extremely excited because finally something is changing in SEO, right? This gives us the opportunity to update a strategy methodology to do, more interesting things, right? So it's actually shocked about the results, but I'm like, hey, what a great opportunity for us, right? To be first to market with like a new idea. And I'm already seeing how this is taking off, right? 600 plus people signed up to that workshop that we do about SGE. Then let me take a step back real quick. So after I started Boulder SEO Marketing, got remarried together, 5 kids. So my wife, she works in Denver. She's a respiratory specialist. So long hours. So I left early, came back early. So I had to put my business on hold. All I had to do was like lead generation, get leads to my website. And then I worked with other agencies. I got a commission. I made a ton of money. Then after 5-6 years, they all had the driver's license. I took a break from being the housewife in quotes, which, oh my God, I have so much respect for housewives. The hardest job, right? So I'm like, fine, I can finally get back to work. I was so motivated to get back into the SEO game, to do things the way I wanted to do them, right? Then I teamed up with my business partner, Daniel Burns. He's not on this call. He ran a web design agency for 20 years in LA. And then together, the guy thinks like me, it's like, let's do something cool that we both enjoy, that, we motivate other people to work with us, march in the right direction. And then together, I guess I'm the visionary at this company. I had the idea about micro SEO strategies, but he helps me, formalize things, put structure around things. As you can tell, I'm like probably, free spirit, big thinker. Somebody has to rein me down. This is what it takes, right? But they let me do my stuff here at Boulder SEO Marketing. And luckily, people are here to help me formalize my ideas and then put them in place so that operations can actually execute on what I'm thinking.
It's absolutely vital in any agency to have some kind of implementer to the visionary. And you can be the implementer and the leader, but still, there's someone has to have the ideas and someone has to say no, or make them happen. Looking ahead to the future, you mentioned SGE, and there's lots of developments that are coming through, seemingly daily, but also between Google renaming things and then sunsetting things and then renaming them again and all that sort of stuff. What do you think is going to kind of play like a pivotal role in SEO in the future and beyond, like micro SEO? How are you sort of preparing for what's coming?
So we're in for a wild ride. Change is going to be the only constant. I love tools like SE ranking. We got to know each other, I guess 4 or 5 something years ago. And it's probably the most innovative SEO tool, digital marketing platform out there that I have ever come across. It's in line with the people that work there. We sort of became friends over these years now. these people are so innovative, like forward looking, big thinkers, amazing people. I think this is what it's going to take to be a winner in this game, right? You cannot be stagnant. You have to be open to change, actually embrace it, be excited about it. And this is what I see in SE ranking, right? Companies like that will succeed. They will be the leaders in the future. Things are going to change dramatically. If you think things have already changed quite a bit since the launch of ChatGPT in November, a couple of years ago, nothing has happened yet. We are at the very beginning of this hockey stick. This is going to be a super fun, wild ride. I'm so excited that I'm in it, right? To really be part of this evolution of SEO, AI, and all the stuff that we don't even know about yet. What's going to happen?
Correct answer, and a brilliant plug for SE ranking as well. I totally agree with everything you said there.
I wanted to ask you a question about more immediate goals of Boulder SEO Marketing. Do you have a specific goal for this year? Like, this is the year that we do something like that you've been waiting for. Maybe you have a plan for this year, and how do you plan to achieve it? What is the biggest goal that you have this year?
Oh man, Andrew, I love your questions. Okay, so that's in line with the book The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Drives my business partner crazy. He always wants to set goals like, oh, we want to increase sales by 20, 30, 50%, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. I really don't care about these goals. My goal is that we all have fun. We really enjoy getting up in the morning and being excited about doing the stuff that we do, that everybody's, healthy, doesn't get overloaded with work. That's a big goal. I don't want to burn my people out. I'm sending somebody over to the Philippines. We're building a team there. So I want him to have, that experience, meet with the team in person. Is that necessary? No. Is it a great motivation? Absolutely. So those are my goals, right? I don't... drives my business partner crazy, but I don't have any, it's like, this year I want to grow by that. No, for me, it's like, if I can exit this game in 10 years and then this vision continues, that'd be awesome. That's my goal, I guess.
This is why you have a business partner, because those goals have numbers attached to them. You just don't necessarily want to talk about them. There are numbers. Don't sweat those things. It's fine. So final round, we've got quick fire questions for you. I think I know the answer to this one. What's one tool or SEO resource that you can't live without?
SE ranking. No, it's every day, all day. It's like I use it to impress clients. How long do you want my answer to be?
As quick as you like. Quick fire round. Just
if anybody out there still needs a tool, check out SE ranking.
And I know this isn't supposed to be a plug, but there's a lot of stuff that keeps being added or improved upon. And I spotted something the other day that I thought was there. I didn't think was there at all. I was about to send a feature request. I was like, oh, I don't know if they just added it or they're in my brain, but it's there. How do you deal with the pressure when it comes to running an agency?
I love it. I don't feel pressure. It's just, I don't have pressure, I think.
What is the one thing in SEO that you think's overhyped?
AI. It's, a lot of people, they make AI the hero. It's not, it's just like another feature that we need to use at this point. So right now it's AI.
If you could go back in time then to the time when you're just starting in SEO and give yourself one piece of advice, what do you think you'd give yourself?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Sleep more. I'm actually getting better at it. I probably would have, yeah.
In the context of running an agency, what's the biggest mistake you've made so far? And do you think if you had the same things going on, would you have made the same mistake again?
I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive in maybe a little bit more structure, because it was me at the beginning. I didn't have people to help me with structure. I think that, I don't know, slowed me down or whatever. But I think, I could have done more in less time. So maybe, have more structure at the beginning.
Lovely. Chris, I think we managed to get about 85 SE ranking plugs in there. Andrew, would you like any more? Are we done now?
I think we're good. So I want to thank Chris Simmons for hosting this with us. And I want to thank you, Chris Raulf, for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to do this with us. We're always happy to have you on board. And I want to sign out by saying that is it for today's episode of SEO Rankings Rollercoaster, Agency Rollercoaster podcast. I want to thank you, Chris, once again, both Chris's, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. This whirlwind adventure is brought to you by SEO Ranking. There you go, another plug. The go-to SEO toolkit for over 40,000 digital agencies worldwide. If you're ready to take your agency's SEO game to the next level, be sure to join the SEO Ranking family. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights, laughs, and all things SEO. This is Andrew Zarudny along Chris Simmons, signing off from the SEO Agency Rollercoaster. Stay tuned for more episodes, and remember, in the world of SEO, the ride truly never ends.